that are running the sound, that are running the music, that are taking care of things. Every year, we have these people from Ridgeland jump in and help out, and they do us a great job. I can't get all the names, I'll forget some of them, but they do such a great job, and I do appreciate them. Basically, I'd like to just give a brief introduction on how this program will begin. We will be honored tonight with a combined honor guard with Logan City Police Department, Cache County Sheriff's Office, that will be presenting the colors. Following that will be a pledge of allegiance, and then we will turn some time over to our class president, Caden Gregory, for his comments. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and join me in honoring the national colors. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Light. Forward.
Thank you. The audience may be seated.
So I found out that I was supposed to speak like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It was kind of a shocker. I'm like, man, I'm being the class president by default. But I do want to give my thanks and the thanks of, in behalf of my class for the instructors, the chiefs and lieutenants, as well as every instructor that helped us out this year. And I want to add our thanks to the Ridgeland staff as well for providing the opportunity for us to complete this academy. It's been one heck of a year. It had its ups, its downs, the happy times, the joys, the frustrations, especially when the DT instructors aren't exactly gentle with us. But we had fun. We had lots of laughs. Officer Blau has this famous saying when we were on the shooting range, "Don't smash the trigger." And he always threatened that if we did, he would make us get a tattoo of it somewhere on our bodies. One of the cadets took that seriously, and he actually got a tattoo on his bicep. So, we get some good laughs. We had a lot of fun. I'm just extremely grateful to my classmates as well for the support that they've given. I'm grateful for all of you, families and friends, for supporting them. I know I wouldn't be able to do it without the support of my family and friends. So thank you guys for supporting your cadets and helping me through it, because it was a struggle. It was a long year. There's a lot of information thrown at us. a lot of physical exertion that we had to overcome. So we really do appreciate that support. Again, thank you. Thank you to the instructors, the representation, and thank you to the current law enforcement, past law enforcement.
We do have some interesting humor and a little bit of dark humor. I did tell him if it took too long, it would break his legs. So, along with getting a tattoo, apparently he took that to heart as well. As part of our graduation ceremony, one of the things we do like to do, and this is coming from the cadets, is we like to recognize outstanding instructors throughout the year. It is not easy coming into the academy with a full-time job and other demands, and then coming in providing high-quality education. I was actually speaking with Post today with one of my technicians I work with down there. For those who don't know, Peace Officer Standards and Training is the organization that basically certifies all law enforcement in Utah. It's kind of a big deal to us. They hold a lot of authority over us. And one of the comments they made was that at this time they were very happy with how this academy was running. Coming from an organization that does not give praise very often, I took that as very high praise, but that's not for me, that's for the instructors. The instructors do a fantastic job teaching these cadets things that they didn't know before, didn't think they were going to know, had no idea they were going to learn, and they've done a great job. The cadets, I gave them the task of presenting 3 names, one for each block of training. So for those who don't understand, in our certifications, we have our Special Function Officer certification. That block runs from January to the end of April. Our Basic Correctional Officer certification that runs from April, the end of April until the end of June. And then our Law Enforcement Officer certification that runs from July till 2 nights ago. Interestingly enough, they chose very similar instructors, which is high praise to them. I did not tell the cadets who received these awards last year. I just simply asked them to present to me the names of 3 instructors, one for each block of training, that they felt exemplified their professionalism in the way they gave their presentations and in the way they related and acted and served as examples to our cadets, that were excited about the profession, that still had joy in the profession, and that basically, in a nutshell, left a solid mark on the cadets. And I would like at this time to call up these 3 individuals. For the Special Function Officer block, Deputy Vaughn Adams with the Cache County Sheriff's Office. He is here tonight. While he's come up, I'm just going to have all 3 come up as well. Ryan Christiansen from the Logan City Police Department. And then Ryan Blau, also the Logan City Police Department. You can come up as well. They're getting used to these awards. I like knives. And so I'm going to present with them. Actually, I like it because it's kind of like sharpening the edge. For some people that look at Stephen Covey, sharpening the saw, I call it sharpening the edge. And so we present to them a box with the words inside outstanding instructor, and on top, service with honor. These 3 gentlemen have definitely served with honor this year and have left a very impression, a great mark on our cadets. One more award I'd like to give, actually, and it's kind of interesting. I was talking with retired Sergeant Troy Liquin. He made a comment to me. He said, "Boy, you're really lucky." He said, you have someone that's actually helping you. And I was like, yes, I am very lucky. Yeah, you have someone that's helping me. Jamie, could you come up, please? Jamie is a full-time employee with Bridgerland and has the distinct, I wouldn't call it honor, but she works with 4 different programs. The Police Academy is just one of those 4. She does a great job. She's always on top of things. I can always reach out to her, and I just would also like to present with her the same award for helping out so much that she does. We are just going to keep moving right along. Next up, we would like to recognize some of the cadets. And they still have no idea who's getting these, which is a lot of fun to watch. It's just so much fun to sit there and stew and they really wonder. Every year we do 3 awards. And I'm going to give out 1 award, and then I'm going to ask that our 2 of our outstanding instructors come up and help me with the other 2. We have lead instructors. Ryan Christiansen is actually over our scenario group and actually doubled as our PT lead instructor this year. And Ryan Blau is over our firearms group. So I'm going to go ahead and give out the class valedictorian, and then I'm going to have them come up and give out the top marksman award and then the outstanding PT award. Again, the class valedictorian award is very simple. It's what it is. It is the top student in the class, but it's throughout the entire year. So these are scores that I compiled during the Special Function Officer block, the Basic Correctional Officer block, and the Law Enforcement Officer block. And I think they would all agree with me, SFO is not easy. That is a block that tends to wash a lot of people out. You guys an understanding of how difficult this academy experience can be. On night 1, I had 19 people signed up, 17 people showed up, and at the end of SFO block, we had 9 cadets left. That is a 50% rate where people decided it wasn't for them or the academics was just a little bit too difficult. Then we moved to the Basic Correctional Officer block and pepper sprayed them, and then they all decided they wanted to quit. And I said, no, I'll pepper spray you again, so they came back. And then the Law Enforcement Officer block consisted of even more tests. We had our radar LiDAR, we had our traffic accident investigation, we had all these things. It's a very rigorous exam. And for this year, it was a very close running. I had to wait until this morning to get the name because it was so close. So with that being said, Shannon Weaver. I would like to present Cadet Weaver with the class valedictorian. I would say Ryan, but they both are going to stand up. So we'll do the Top Gun Award first. While he's coming up, this is a brave man. He goes on a range with a bunch of people that may or may not have shot a gun before, and he actually tries to teach them how to do it without getting shot. So.
I have a great crew of instructors I help, both county and city, to get us through that 2 weeks. So total time on the range was about 56 hours that we spent there. It consists of 2 weekends and 2 really long Saturdays that were all day. In the middle of the heat of the summer, it was pretty unbearable sometimes, right? No, it was a great time. As far as post requirements that we go, we shoot a day qualification, which consists of 50 rounds, and are scored. We shoot a night qualification, which is split up. Half of that is shot with a flashlight, half of it is without a flashlight. Also 50 rounds. And so there's a total of 500 points possible to qualify, or 500 points possible at the end of it. I believe they had to have in the number to pass. group. I wasn't as scared as I have been in years past being underneath with these guys, so that was a blessing. But with the total overall score, 473 out of 500, Dallenberg is our top gun for this year.
We'll do our physical fitness score award next. And again, I'll let him kind of go over that a little bit. But just as our instructors were nervous to be on the range, I think the cadets were a little bit more nervous about the PT. It's not always easy. I'll spend some time over it for those remarks.
As we've already talked about, these cadets throughout their academy experience are tested on a variety of subjects. Physical fitness is one of those subjects that they're tested on. Post requirements for the LEO certification, they have to be able to do 23 push-ups. They have to be able to hold a plank for 90 seconds. They have to have a vertical jump of 17.5 inches. And they have to be able to run 1.5 miles in 14 minutes and 46 seconds or less. Throughout this year's academy, the award this cadet's going through is this cadet has shown a high level of physical fitness throughout this academy. In addition to showing his own level of physical fitness, he's shown some leadership during the PT portion. He's always wanted to go back, help the other cadets finish their workouts. And I think that's very important to have that quality as a law enforcement officer. So this year's award for the most physically better PT award goes to Deputy Caden Gregory.
We had a chat outside before this, and they all said they were going to pay me $5 each if I could have them out of here in 15 minutes. So I'm going to see if I can earn a bit of money tonight. Before we move into the portion where we hand out our certificates, I wanted to take just a few brief moments and give a few remarks. This has been very interesting. Every year, every cadet, every class, every session is a little bit different. This session was no different. There was differences. There was things that I looked at and went, well, that's something I've never seen before. Some universal consistency. On night one, every one of them show up, and they're smiling, and they're excited, but they don't want to talk to anybody. They don't know anybody. They're not sure what's going to happen. They kind of just sit in their chairs and look forward. And it's very interesting to watch throughout the year as they change. They begin to grow into a team. They begin to argue at times, which was kind of funny to watch. I'm like, really? They wouldn't say hi to each other first night. Now they're telling each other to go places. And that's important because that's part of the experience. And all the academy does is basically start with a foundation. After that, it's up to them. And I think at this point, I wanted to just kind of give you guys not so much words of encouragement as words of responsibility. For 11 months, they don't realize we're babying them, but we baby them along. We give them lots of opportunities. We give them chances to fail, and then we help them work through that failure to learn what success is. We help them with problems. We listen to their problems. We help them understand how to overcome those problems. And we do that because we want them to understand what it is to have that foundation. But as you move into law enforcement, that's going to change. It has to change. From this point forward, you no longer have the luxury of letting others carry. It will be your responsibility to carry others. From this point forward, you are no longer able to allow others to solve your problems for you because you will be responsible for solving their problems. And you can no longer be content to allow others to lead you. You are now the leaders that we expect you to be. If you look up here on the stand, these gentlemen up here have spent many years honing their skills, leading officers and deputies in the valley, and most of them have got a little bit of gray hair to show for it. Most of them, when they smile, there's wrinkles that didn't used to be there. Most of them don't smile the same as they used to. It's a high polish. It's a polish that comes from abrasion. That's how we polish things. It's not with a soft cloth. It's with abrasion. And that is what is going to happen. The good news is I expect you to do that. I told them one time I was teaching a class and I said, I do not treat you as broken glass. I don't expect them to be broken glass. I don't expect them to be weak. I don't expect them to have cracks. I don't expect them to fall apart. I expect them to do what society needs for them to do. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't have hard times. It doesn't mean that there won't be times you're going to want to go talk to some people, maybe work out some things. But that is a responsibility that you have. This profession has gone through more challenges in the last 5 years than it has the previous 150. Everyone here knows and has heard stories about law enforcement, both good and bad. Nationwide, there's a very specific viewpoint in many areas of law enforcement from people that are trying very hard to drown out the good people who are saying it's not that way. The profession of law enforcement is absolutely required for a civilized society. Without law enforcement, we can't have civility. At the same time, we have that responsibility. So I'd like to leave you with just a couple quotes. The first quote is by M.H. McKee. Wisdom is knowing the right path to take, but integrity is taking it. There will be times when you will wonder if you can take the right path. You'll know which one to take. The question will be, will you have the integrity to take it? And then I have an anonymous quote. And this individual made this comment, and this is not delineating us, it's explaining a thought process. I don't have to draw a line in the sand. I already have one. It's thin, it's blue. It's mine. And if you cross it, I will protect it. And that does not mean it is an us versus them. It does not mean that we are better. It means that we have drawn a line in the sand on what we believe is right in our society. We have drawn a line in the sand and what the laws of our community have been set as. We will protect that line. That is our duty. Thank you. This time, we will be presenting certificates of graduation to these cadets. During this process, any family member who would like to take pictures, please, you are more than welcome to come out to the front and take pictures. I'm even going to tell you how this is going to work, and one last time so they don't forget. Here in a moment, we're going to have them exit the room. We'll prepare for graduation. We will be calling out their names so that you will know it's going to go in order. It's just in the program. As they come across, they're going to go up this stage here. We'll give them their certificate. And if you would like a picture, our VTech staff will be taking pictures. So families, you'll be able to get plenty of pictures from them as well. But if you would like to take a picture, please come up. We can have them pause right here before they go down the steps and take a picture. Obviously, after the program is over, you will have all the time in the world to take pictures. But for family members, this is very important. I want you to know, absolutely, please come up and take pictures. Once all the cadets have received their certificates, retired Sergeant Troy Litwin will swear them into the Code of Ethics, and then at that time they'll be presented for graduation. Cadets, please prepare for graduation.
Adam Allred, Special Functions Officer, Correction Officer, and Law Enforcement Officer certification. Benjamin Atkins, Special Function Officer, Corrections Officer, and Law Enforcement Officer. Christian Boss, Special Function Officer, Correction Officer, and Law Enforcement Officer. Dallin Burt, Law Enforcement Officer. Jose Castaneda, Special Functions Officer, Corrections Officer, and Law Enforcement Officer.
What's that?
Gilliam Deb Bahe, Special Functions Officer, Corrections Officer, and Law Enforcement Officer. Close. Caden Gregory, Special Functions Officer, Corrections Officer, and Law Enforcement Officer. Vlad Grinchuk, Law Enforcement Officer. Andy Guadaran, Special Functions Officer, Corrections Officer, and Law Enforcement Officer. Adam Miguel, Law Enforcement Officer. Shannon Weaver, Special Functions Officer, Corrections Officer, and Law Enforcement Officer. We have two additional students that are not in attendance. Camille Bell, Law Enforcement Officer, and Brandon Wageman, Special Functions Officer, Corrections Officer, and Law Enforcement Officer. You can all give them a round of applause. If the cadets would please rise. You'll face me, please. You raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name. As a law enforcement officer, will be fully aware of the ethical responsibilities of my office. I will strive constantly to live up to the highest possible standards, keeping in mind the expectations of my fellow officers, of my agency, and of the citizens that I serve. I recognize my badge as a symbol of public trust, to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of police service. I hereby vow before these witnesses to live by the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. Director Peck, it is my privilege to present to you the graduating class of session 2021. All present have successfully completed the requirements set forth by the Utah Peace Officer Standards and Training and have earned their certificates commensurate with those requirements.
Ladies and gentlemen, UTEC class of 2022.
Ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude our ceremony activities for tonight. Please feel free to mingle, take pictures, and hopefully you guys have got a fantastic dinner set up somewhere to enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you all for coming.